I'm only speaking to benevolent beings, and I'm going to try and make this as quick as I can. So, if you are one who is targeted. In prior recordings, I've spoken of trying to work with universal laws, trying to move things to universal laws. If you feel comfortable doing that. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, then asking questions to universal laws. Because they use the artificial frequency fence to obstruct, as I've spoken in prior recordings about, either they risk not shutting it off, they risk not shutting off the fence, and they risk shutting it off. And with the amount of beings screaming on this planet, we need to really we need to tip the scales. Now, obviously, it sucks that so many beings, it's tragic that so many beings are screaming on this planet. At the same time, the more beings that are screaming here is what's going to tip the scales. So what I just wanted to make light of, if you're one who is, trying to find ways to help trigger universal laws, trigger universal law enforcement here. If you don't feel comfortable actually moving their violations to universal laws or moving them to universal laws, questions can be asked to universal laws. That's another way to work with universal laws, more of an indirect way, and still be assisting. So basically, it's still, you want to use your will in your intention and your attention, in your emotion, as you are asking your questions to universal laws. So one way that you could be trying to assist is to be asking universal laws to locate all parasitic, demonic, insane, devolving, abomination entities and frequencies on this planet and in this universe that need to be removed and or moved to entropy for correction. Devoid of all harm to you, and devoid of all technologies, magic, clones, and devoid of everything that they've raped from benevolent beings. Other questions that could be asked to universal laws. Why is there still a parasitic infection on this planet? And what are they using to stay here? What have they been using to stay here? And we need to get universal laws working on it, right? Universal laws is a force. It will then try to seek out those entities. It will try and seek out what it is that they're using. And once it does that, it triggers immediate correction. Because obviously they're using things that they are not allowed to be using. Because what they're using, they're in violation of all universal laws. So that could be another question. What is the parasitic infection, parasites, demons, whatever you want to call them, what are they using to evade universal laws and universal law correction? What are they doing to obstruct and regress universal law correction in this place called planet Earth? Questions like those. I'm trying to think of other ones. Just a moment. Questions like, if you were to ask, what is the malevolence, the parasites, the demons, whatever you want to call them, your whatever name, or title, not title, but whatever word that you're going to use there, what are they using to evade universal laws, and do they have humanity's consent? Or do they have the consent of the things that they're using to stay here? Because what they're doing is they're using what they've raped from benevolent beings to try and sustain their stay in manifested creation. And they don't have consent, obviously, because those are things that were attained through torture, rape, and murder. So once again, it triggers universal laws to locate what it is that they're using. And then it will immediately start going into correction action, because it does not have the consent of the power, will, and energy, life force consciousness, and frequencies that they've raped. Questions like, how many beings are being tortured, raped, and murdered in the astral realm? How many beings are being tortured, raped, and murdered in artificial realities? Right? These are questions that can be being asked to universal laws to start triggering correction. Now, they do try and use the technology to regress. Okay, but here's the thing, more than one being trying to trigger universal laws, asking these same questions over and over and over, trying to get universal laws to recognize that there's a pattern of violation of universal laws that needs to be permanently corrected, needs to be established. So if I'm the only one asking these questions, right? Like, there has to be more of us asking questions directly to universal laws, moving things to universal laws, trying to manually trigger universal law enforcement here. Why is there an artificial frequency fence obstructing universal law correction around this planet called Earth? That's another question. Why is there an artificial frequency fence obstructing universal laws here? Who is operating the artificial frequency fence that surrounds this planet? And what is the purpose of the artificial frequency fence? What is used to power the artificial frequency fence? Who is operating the artificial frequency fence, and are they in violation of universal laws? How many benevolent beings are being harmed by the parasitic reptilian species? So questions like that need to be being asked by more than one being to try and trigger tip the scales, trigger universal law enforcement here. If there's enough beings screaming, if there's enough beings asking those questions, and getting universal laws to be correcting the same things over and over and over, obviously at some point there's going to be pattern recognition, and then there will be hopefully a triggering, hopefully a deactivation of the artificial frequency fence, hopefully a permanent removal of the parasitic species here. So, you know, if you can manage it, that would really be helpful at this time. And these bitches still continue to try and do their fuckery, still continue to try and force harm on humanity. The homelessness issue grows exponentially by the day. And adds to the amount of beings that are screaming here. What they're doing to the economy, right? There's more beings screaming. So at some point, they're either going to shut off that fucking fence, or universal laws is just going to be fucking triggered because there's so many beings fucking screaming. What's being forced on this planet is not allowed and must be immediately fucking corrected. This parasitic species must be fucking removed from manifested creation. They are an abomination. They are not, that technology is not allowed here. Frequency fucking weaponry is not allowed here. Trying to hack into beings with frequency weaponry and mind raping beings is not allowed, is the highest violation of universal laws. These bitches should have been fucking removed. Already, long ago. This shit is like fucking worse than Atlantis. There should have been true benevolent intervention already by a larger benevolent force. Where the fuck is it? There must be correction. There cannot be, there must be balance in a universe, and there must be correction. There must be informed consent. There cannot be a universe overrun by fucking parasites. It's going to fucking implode. There can't be this degree of fucking harm and atrocity and horror and violation without fucking correction. The tech must be destroyed. The technology is a technological parasite. It is also an abomination. Just like they are. They are an arm of the technology. It must be fucking destroyed. This is an organic universe, not an artificial one. There must be remedy. There must be correction. So however it is that we have to trigger universal laws is what we do. There must be remedy. These bitches are in violation of all universal laws for however long it is that they've been here. It's got to be fucking corrected. And for what they've forced on humanity up to this point, everybody on this planet should be fucking screaming. If they're not, they're in fucking denial. So please, if you can, try and, when you get time, focus your attention and ask questions to universal laws directly. With your will, your intention, your focus, your emotion. And make sure you're trying to envision your questions reaching outside of the frequency fence around this place. Like bypassing the fence and going directly to just the universal field outside of this planet. And focus your attention on reaching universal laws. Okay? So please, if you can, see if you can manage it if you have a spare few minutes every day. All right. Stay strong. And stand your ground. Till next time.